Hi guys, Andreas on the Mainliner with another video with new records, which is going to be a while before I actually get the new records post pandemic. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you are hanging out and how's everything. I hope that everybody's well. It is a very odd time. Um, yeah, and it's just bizarre. It's like the band playing on the Titanic, but yeah, I'll do a video with, new records. Well, sort of newish. Some of them I've ordered a while back and they just arrived, and I have some other things that, I haven't. You've seen it, but maybe I don't know. I don't know. It will all depend on how long it takes and how much I waffle about things. First up, two records that I got today, and one was ordered. When did I order this? So I ordered this one back in February when I found out that it was available. Again, so this is Chapter House, this is Whirlpool, and this is a 1991 album, UK band, dream pop, quite seminal, I guess, for the genre. And this is a music on vinyl reissue that just came out. Well, it just came out. Um, Theoretically, it has come out like at least a couple of weeks, more than a couple of weeks actually. But it was pre-ordered on Amazon. Amazon obviously is not prioritizing records, and they were saying, yeah, you will have it like by the whatever date, and that date kept changing into the future. And at some point they said, well, you know what, you will get it by the 14th, and today is the 14th, and here it is. It's color vinyl, not that it really matters to me because at the end of the day I don't care. And yeah, so this is what I got today. I was spinning it earlier, it's really lovely. And this is one of the records that has a cover that just confuses the hell out of my mind. My eyes see things that I cannot comprehend. It took me forever to understand that on this cover it's a cat cuddled up onto itself. Before that, I could not see that. I don't know. I don't know, guys. It is bizarre. The other thing that I want to say about this reissue is that I'm not sure if the cover color is correct, if that is how it was when it first came out, because if memory serves me right, on Spotify it has a different hue. It's not so blue, I think, but anyway, it's good to have. Yeah, so post-pandemic, apparently, as I said, with the orchestra, like the orchestra on the Titanic. Fred came out and it's like, oh, I'll start making videos again. The glowing double O cabbage came out and like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll make videos as well. And I'm saying this because I was reminded of Fred because he shown this many, many, many moons ago. And back when it was issued in, I want to say 2010, and it was a limited edition, blue vinyl, yada yada yada. And then Mute decided to reissue them. Now, a good indication that a record might be reissued if you're using Spotify is when you can find the album on Spotify, and then you play it, and it's all good, and you have saved it on a playlist or whatever, and then suddenly it disappears. It's like it's there, but you cannot play it, and that means that it's going to get reissued. It was like that for at least a couple of years. I guess it took them a little while, but they reissued this, and yeah, it became available when Mute said, yeah, we're reissuing these. Interesting thing as well is that I discovered that the previous reissue, went on for a bit of money on Discogs and eBay. It was quite expensive, and then suddenly one of my favorite, well, my favorite record shop here in London, World of Echo, they found copies from the 2010 reissue, which is like, it went for like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 pounds or whatever, and they were selling them for 25 pounds. Unfortunately, they closed because of the quarantines and all that, so no time to get it from there. But I probably would have opted for the Mute reissue, to be honest. I trust Mute to do a better job from a pressing. If it were just a CD, I would buy any, but yeah, for the vinyl, this one. And also, the other thing is that I've noticed is that, well, the other one, Teenage Snuff Film, and the other album, Roland P. Howard, Roland S. Howard, sorry, um, released, has become available. It's not available on Amazon. It says import, which means that it's not the Mute one, whereas for this one it said Mute. And I don't know, that's another one which was not hugely available. And then when Mute said, oh, we're reissuing these, then, copies, cheap copies were available almost immediately. People just found them. I don't know what they were doing. They were hoarding them for years. But unfortunately, it's not available on Amazon. At least Amazon doesn't say that it's a Mute reissue. It says import, which means that it's the US copy. So I will wait until that comes along. I mean, yeah, I don't know when that's going to be. Here's another record that I had my eye on for many, 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 many years, but as it happens sometimes, you just don't get lucky, or it's too expensive. But thank God for Black Editions, because they're issued White Heaven out. I have the other one from White Heaven, which is a blue cover, but this is the one, this is supposedly like, the better one, and it's much more expensive to find as well. So yeah, the blue one, I have it in the collection that I have in Greece. So yeah, really happy to get this. Classic psychedelic Japanese rock here. I mean, it's like, yeah. Japanese weirdness, not overtly weird, but it has that Japanese kind of sensibility to it with, Western music. So, I'm a sucker for this kind of thing. It's a great record. You should check it out. Right. What should I... It's all reissues, guys. I don't know. That's how I roll usually. It's like, oh, it's reissues. I'm the reissue guy. It's like, oh, it doesn't show anything of interest. But all reissues are cheapskate. That's me. Well, you know what? If I were in the US, probably I would go for the originals, because they're not... You can get originals that are like fairly cheap. The prices are good. Shipping is cheap. Here in the UK and in Europe in general, it's a different proposition. It's very different. Anyway, having said that, here's a reissue of a 1982 record, which is really funny, because if you think about it, 1982 for me, it doesn't sound that far away. It's like, oh yeah, 1982, yeah, that's all cool. Fucking hell, it's like 38 years ago. 38 years. I mean, yeah, it's like, it's, if you think about it, if you were like 1982 and you were holding, I don't know, a Police record, right? Like 38 years ago, what did they have? Frank Sinatra, right? So, anyway, to the record. This is a private press originally. This is not the private press, this is a reissue. It came out in 2010, so it's been 10 years. It's Stan Hubs, and it's called, what's it called again? Crystal. Oh yeah. So Crystal, it came out in 1982. It doesn't sound like it's from 1982. It's a very throwback sound. The first song is like Ooh, I'm not entirely sure about this. It's very sort of light-hearted kind of hippie trippy kind of stuff, but it progresses really well, and yeah, it does a really good job. It's not a heavy psychedelic record or anything like that. It still has that, light kind of feeling that you get from Private Press releases, and I'm not saying the right things about it, I think, but it's a good album. Actually, it's really good. It's really good. I really like. When I discovered it, I enjoyed this a lot. I streamed it to bits on Spotify, and this reissue was quite expensive to find. I found as you can see, a very good condition copy on Discogs. Somebody was selling it from here in the UK, so shipping was reasonable, and I went for it. So yeah, the pressing is really nice. It's RTI, which is really funny because it's like this like private press. So it would have been pressed anywhere. Maybe the pressing wasn't that good, but no, the issue is on RTI, and it's on Companion Records. So yeah, if you see it on a dollar bin or anything, just grab it. It's really good. If you don't, and yeah, you need to find a copy because it's been 10 years since it was reissued. And to be absolutely fair, I don't think that this is getting another issue anytime soon. So yeah, well, here's a record that will be reissued forever and ever, I think. At least in the foreseeable future, if we don't die, or if we don't end up in living in caves or something. The Cure, Pornography. I've shown this record before. But I bought a bootleg last time that I showed it. It sounded alright, but it's like, oh bugger, it's a bootleg. Why did it? Well, what an idiot. It's not that I paid a lot of money or anything, it was cheap. So, when you see something, it was supposedly a Japanese pressing, and it looked, brand spanking new, and no OB, but I was like, oh, yeah, maybe, it's like, I don't know, wrong price or something. It wasn't, yeah, it was like, what, 15 euro or something. I bought it in Paris, the other one. This one I just ordered it online, like for £13 or whatever. It was cheap. So yeah, I needed to have like a proper vinyl copy. I have a CD back in Greece. I have the bootleg, and now I have like a sort of proper copy and it's also remastered by Robert Smith. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a connoisseur. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I don't know how, I landed at some point in a record shop in Greece, and I decided or went for Pornography, and I found it on CD and I bought it. And I really liked it. But I never bought anything. No, actually I have like the singles collection. But I never liked anything else, which is very unfair. I have been trying to get into The Cure because I've decided that the first record is really good as well because it's very post-punky. And Cure is one of those bands that is like, has evolved over time, has changed a lot. It has, and there's good reasons why you should like them and why you should go into their discography. And I'm saying it from a position where I'm like, I didn't pay enough attention, and I'm trying to rectify that. I have been trying to rectify something else as well, which I did last year, and maybe I will, if there's like, I've already been talking 15 minutes about another band, we'll get to that. So yeah, Pornography. The record that when I play, I remember everything. I can sing along to it, but right now I can remember nothing. I cannot hum a tune. I don't know nothing about it. I cannot. Yeah, it's just bizarre. Sometimes you can sort of like, oh yeah, that song that goes like this. It's like what, the Hanging Garden or whatever, like a short-term effect. I blank. Blank. I only remember for the short-term effect is like uh, Robert Smith going a short-term effect, and that's it. I don't remember any other lyrics, and I've listened to it a lot as well. That is a funny bit. I don't know why. It's one of those records that just cannot doesn't stick. And it's not that I listen to it now that I'm older and like getting on a bit. I was a lot younger, so I would have remembered things. This is a discovery, and it's a very good one. I've been on a kick with post punk and new wave and these sort of sounds. There's also a huge revival of post punk sounds and cold wave and synth wave and all that kind of stuff. So there's loads of things happening, modern things, but it's also a very good opportunity to go out and like find older stuff. The originals, it's like they the new ones emulate them really well. There's nothing like there's nothing to blame. There isn't anything to say that oh, this is crap because blah blah whatever. But the originals are always like a little bit. They have that little something. You know what I mean? This is ooh, where are they from? I can't remember now. It just struck me that I don't remember where these guys are from. So this is Spa Ranch, Back to the Wood. This is a compilation. I don't know whether they made an album. I cannot remember top of mind right now. So this sounds like a mix of. They have a little bit of The Wire. They have a little bit of that from the Lion's Mouth sound from the sound. From the lion's mouth sound from the sound. Oh, that was a correct sentence, and something else as well. So they don't sound hugely original. That I will agree, but it's a good and honest mix of good influences, or maybe they're not influences because this is original. This came out what? This music came out mid 80s. Oh, yeah, they're from Detroit. I remember correctly because they definitely, yeah, they do sound a little bit European, but not exactly. So it's quite good. Oh, yeah, so it says here for fans of Joy Division, Red Tempo Spirits, I don't know them. Savage Republic, Crispy Ambulance, The Fall, Section 25, and Sonic Youth. I think that's a fair assessment. So yeah, really good. And we can find these reissues. This came out like when 2016, so 4 years ago. Copies are available. It's cheap. If you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check these guys out. Really good. And another reissue. This one is the only record, the only record that I can genuinely say that I like from this guy. Now, this is Scott Walker. What? Walker. Scott Walker and Climate of Hunter. This came out in 1981, 2. So, yeah, can't remember now. Doesn't say. Anyway, it's early 80s, definitely. So this came out, memory serves me right again, after Night Flights from the Walker Brothers, which, yeah, the song Night Flights is amazing. Yeah, I love that. But as for the rest of the record, I'm not entirely sure, and it was a botched kind of release. I remember that there is a story about it, something. Can't remember the exact details right now. I should have checked it before doing this video, but I never do. There was a problem with that release anyway, and so yeah, the songs were not worked out properly. So side one effectively was the proper side kind of thing, and the rest of the half of the record was not that good. And yeah, after this, Scott Walker went solo. He made this record, which is a transient kind of record, and it has that Night Flight kind of sound, early 80s sound. For some, again, because I am in this kind of new wave phase and all that, this sounds retro and interesting to me. It's a kind of sound that if you played this record, like, in like early 90s, for example, it would have been, oh my god, what is this shit? But but it's very good. It's very good. I now, after like 30 years, it's considered retro and cool again, as things happen with these kinds of things. As the things happen, period. As things happen. So yes, it's a very good album, start to finish. No problems, and it's very interesting because everything that he did before, apart from Night Flights, where he was like a very baroque and very dramatic and all that, I cannot stand him. Sorry, it's like no. Then everything after this, like Drift and God forbid, like all the stuff that he did with Sun and all that, it's impossible. It's torture to my ears. It's like just kill me now. I cannot hear it. I cannot listen to it. This one though, it works. He's not overly dramatic with his vocal delivery. He's very straightforward actually. The music is not overtly like experimental, and so it just works. The only downside for some people will be that it is a little bit sounds a little bit doesn't sound of his time, as in cheap sounding of his sound, like cheap synths or whatever. It does have some characteristics from that era that you may or may not like. So that's a story basically. That is a story. Oh, I have something else. Did I show this? I think I did. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Death Penalty. So this is a modern sort of metal doom kind of band. It's I had it as a playlist on Spotify. It's a funny one because I liked it. Then I just forgot about it, and then I saw it in the record shop. Got it used in my local, and I put it on, and I was like, "Ooh, is that really it?" I had completely forgotten about it. Yeah, I was like on a second sort of when I actually played it, I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Do I like this? I'm not entirely sure. Don't know. Maybe I need to give it another go." I think that I have shown all these from this stack, pretty much. So I'll do. I have a few that I want to show. 23 minutes. Okay. You have seen this in the background. I mean, you probably have noticed it. It's a relatively new acquisition. I got it maybe after Christmas or a little bit before Christmas. DR Hooker, again, private press, like not the first one, but Stan Hubs. But this is a like from the 60s, like genuine Jesus on with a guitar and yeah, very private pressy kind of psychedelic, considered to be a private press kind of masterpiece, very sought after, da 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 da, all that good stuff. The Forge Your Own Chains song that is like the single from this album is featured on several compilations from that era. There is a compilation called Forge Your Own Chains as well, which has songs from private press from that era, which is a really good compilation. The album is really good. It is a private press, so it does have that sort of lightness. It has that kind of, it's not like heavy psychedelic or anything like that. It sort of lacks that kind of direction. As I said, with private presses, it just feels a little bit lighter. It doesn't. Yeah, it's just accidental that is psychedelic for whatever reason. This is oh, what's it called? Sublime Media, Sublime Media, Subliminal Media. I can't remember. It's a Swedish press anyway. Um, there is the original, obviously. Good luck finding it. At least as part of the pond. And there is a US repress which has a press and flow, so it will skip the second song or the first song, I don't remember. I bought it like 10 years ago and I went to return it to Honest Jones, which is in London here. And I said, well, it skips. It's like, oh, sorry about that. We don't have another copy to give you of this one. And there was another guy there. He was Italian. He said, yeah, well, you know what, mate? He was just a customer. He said, yeah, it's like all the copies skip. This pressing, all the copies skip. So, if you have one that doesn't skip, that's a lottery. I don't know. Yeah, you need to get this pressing, unfortunately, and yeah, it's really good pressing, by the way. I found it quite expensive, to be honest, but there was a guy that had like excess copies, like 2 or 3 copies on Discogs, and it was for a fair price, so I just went for it. You know what? 26 minutes. I will finish with some CDs. These are interesting ones, so stick around. I like CDs. I don't mind. There's some really good stuff that you can get on CD for like very very small, very cheap basically. This one is not one of them. This one I actually paid 15 euro or something. Yeah, something like that, maybe, whatever. So this is the one. So this is a double CD. This is from the band Circle. They're Finnish, and this is Circle Live Cairo, Würzburg. Würzburg. I don't know how to pronounce that. It has umlauts. I have no idea how to use them. Live 2003, 12, yeah, June 12th, 2003. Double CD. It's like, yeah, Sunhair music. Circle is Finnish experimental band. They've made a shitload of records, and their discography just, you can find almost like all sorts of things. Krautrock, psychedelia. They have a phase that they go through that they play heavy metal, new wave of heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal kind of inspired music. I have in Greece, I have some of their albums that are playing more krautrock and like more what shall we call it? Not krautrock, but oops, sorry, I got distracted there. Krautrock and post rock, but this is very psychedelic. I've discovered it on Spotify, and it's really really good. Really worth picking this up. It's available only on CD, so it's like no excuses. It's like I don't have to make an excuse. There wasn't an option. It's only available on CD. It's 2003 release, so sort of makes sense. This one I have no excuse because it is available on different formats. This is the Montgomery Chapel, and this is I don't want to say anything, but I will say that it is Christian psych. So yeah, that's it. It's Jesus psych, Jesus on LSD. I don't know, whatever. It's really beautiful. I bought a bunch of CDs, and that day I bought like 5 or 6 CDs. I won't show all of them. but one of them was this one, and I think that this sort of topped it. And you know, they bought some really nice stuff. I'm just not showing it because, you know, time and whatever. So yeah, Montgomery Chapel, the Search Party, really good stuff. It has been reissued. Originals probably are expensive. Reissues you can find on Vinyl. I think Now and Again has reissued it, and it's a really good one to get. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. I don't remember if it's a private press or not. Can't remember really. What else? Anything of note? Yeah, The Go-Betweens. So this is an album, 16 Lovers Lane. I don't have on vinyl. I only have on The Go-Betweens. I only have one album back in on LP. Back in Greece, and here I have nothing. It wasn't available on Spotify. Then they reissued the box set. Some albums have become available to stream again. Some albums are not available to stream again. It's just so annoying. And they haven't released these individually. So, you know, I got this CD for £3. You know, can't complain really, can I? And it's a lovely record. I would say probably their best one. But yeah, it's beautiful, jangly kind of indie. It's just so nice. It just flows. It just makes sense. It's one of those albums that you put on, press play, in this case, and it just makes sense. It's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. That's a reaction that you get when you listen to this album. At least that's my reaction. I don't know. Maybe you put it on and you're like, freak out. Anyway, have some other stuff. Won't show it now because it's already 30 minutes, and I don't think that you want to listen to me waffle on too much. I've already done that quite a bit, and yeah, I hope that you know, keep well. I hope that you stay safe, healthy. You and yours, wash your hands, leave a like, press the bell icon, dislike the whatever did I used to say, like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, you know, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Some people say that a lot. Actually, they say it in the beginning, so I leave it in the end, that, you know, nobody watches. Anyway, good to see old faces again, and yeah, I'll see you around.